Hello, y'all. We're back on some sad news. I hate to even report this, but I have to. But first, y'all tell me what y'all think of this lighting. I went and brought me a little light from the store, and I did not know it was a USB plug-in. This is it right here. Little cheap light, so like I can turn off my main lights at night, especially when I'm still on the computer, but the room be too dark for me to see my keyboard. I can have this. It plugs into the USB. It requires three AAA batteries without the USB. But this is handy for so many reasons. Like our power went out the other night in North Carolina, and it just kept going on and off every 5 minutes. So I said, I need one of those things where you put on the wall and push the lights. I mean, of course, we got our candles and stuff, but still, we need more long-standing sources of light. So I went and got this one. And I'm glad that it also serves the purpose of illuminating with a USB in addition to the batteries. So let me go ahead and put this back right here on top of my pillow. Like I said, I still got a not a USB, but I got a what's it called, y'all? The little thing that sits up, the ring light, y'all. I can't speak today. I need to stop missing breakfast, but y'all know this bitch I live with, honey. I don't never get to eat breakfast like that no more. The only thing I get to take is my NutriBurst, and that's it. So glad when I get the fuck up out of here, y'all. As y'all can tell from my attitude, a bitch is darn gone evil when she darn gone hungry. Ooh. And then, like I said, I had to do these darn on calls for these houses so I could hurry up to get the fuck up out of here. Cause they done pushed our job at the schoolhouse. Now we got a Zoom meeting on the 15th. Oh, and then y'all know I still got my job with the translation. So it's just been a hectic day, y'all. So excuse me if I seem all types of discombobulated. My words are not together. Like I said, we gonna get it together as soon as we get the fuck out of here. But also what we need to get together is these sad stories about our trans sisters and brothers still being murdered left and damn right. I mean, just this year alone, we have Dominique Fells, Rhea Milton, TT Gullah, Brayla Stone, Marcy Mack, and Tatiana Hall, all that were murdered this year, black trans women. And it's Dominique Fells was found in the river. Rhea Milton was found shot. TT Gullah was hung from a tree. Brayla Stone, body found in the car. Mercy Mack, 22, found body found in the parking lot. And then it says Tatiana Hall found dead. They don't go into details of what could have been the cause of death, such as, strangulation, stab, gunshot, or any of those sorts. But also our trans man. This is the second trans man that I've heard of. And it's sad that I didn't even get the other name of the first trans man that was attacked and was killed. Y'all leave that down below in the comment section if y'all know that story that I'm talking about. But this one is another one right here. Mother demands answers for attack that left transgender son hospitalized. Eurydice Darrington's heart was racing and her hands were shaking Tuesday when speaking about the attack on Kristian Rouse that has left him hospitalized since May 13th. And that's him right there. I mean, just starting his life. 18 years old. I don't even know if he just graduated high school or whatever, or just been out of high school, but just starting his life. I mean, handsome little boy. And you got darn on evil, darn on sadistic motherfuckers who want to attack him because of, once again, gender identity. But where's the darn on conscious black community with the Black Lives Matter? Field the advice show. See, I ain't gonna let up off your darn on pork chop lip having looking ass. Once again, I still support your channel. I still, believe in the diaspora. But honey, when do you report on stuff like this? This is why we have to make it known black trans lives matter. Because you can report on everybody else that's straight and that's of the Christian faith. But we supposed to be all in this together, regardless of sexuality, regardless of gender identity, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of doggone religious views or non-religious views. But time and time again, I don't see Mr. Pork Chop Lip saying anything in regards to our black trans brothers and sisters who are being murdered or, you know, are attacked in general, because he's still fighting for his life. Thankfully, he's not killed and he might make a good recovery. It's still going to be a long recovery because he sustained quite a few fatal injuries, which I'll get into explaining right here. It says the significant progress for Darrington as details of her transgender son's grave situation previously made her hyperventilate and unable to speak. Rouse. Now, my thing is this. To my Hispanic folks and my people who speak Espanol, tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly, because it looked like, you know, she might be of Hispanic origin. I don't know. Or she just might be a very high yellow black woman. But if she's indeed of Hispanic origin, y'all correct me in the comment section. Y'all know I'm a country bitch. I hate when people mispronounce my name. It's Lawan. Not Lauren, not Lawana, not Lawanda, Lawan. So if I'm mispronouncing it, y'all get me together kindly. So you're this. Oh, here we go right here. As details of her transgender son's grave situation previously made her hyperventilate and unable to speak. Rouse, 18, was on a ventilator in the ICU at Bakersville Memorial Hospital for 4 weeks before being transferred to West Covina Center that specializes in respiratory care. Then it goes on further to say Rouse currently doesn't have use of his right arm, can barely use his right leg, is unable to walk, and cannot speak. So gonna require doggone speech therapy as well. Ooh. We don't know how long he'll be in the hospital. Darrington said it's going to be a very, very long process for rehabilitation with his arm or leg. After their daily communication abruptly ceased and Darrington hadn't heard from Rouse for nearly 2 days, she decided to go check on him May 13th because Darrington's didn't know the Pacific apartment unit in which her son was living. She got help from Rouse's ex-girlfriend to locate him. When they arrived, Rouse was visible through an apartment window lying on the floor. Oh, Lord. Now I hope that he wasn't there for days. Oh, my goodness. Hopefully this was a couple hours after the situation. But the way that was phrased made it seem like, you know, he could have been in that situation for days. So we might be dealing with dehydration. We might be dealing with some slight malnourishment and everything else. Oh, my. But when they arrived, Rouse was visible on the floor like I iterated. Darrington called the Bakersville Police Department to request a wellness check so they could open the door. However, that wasn't something that the BPD was immediately able to do. What? Okay, somebody's laying on the floor, unresponsive. You got the mother there. You got the ex-girlfriend. You can see them through the window. You talking about that's something that they wasn't immediately able to do. Child boo. And then, you know, let's add race into this. Now, she could pass for a Latina of mixed race origin, but honey, he's clearly a caramel looking black boy, honey. Or if he's Hispanic, Afro-Latina, honey. If you want to add the culture onto it. But honey, they be quick to darn gonna do a no-knock kick-in for us, honey. Just off of suspicion, you know, rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. But you got somebody who is critical on the floor, is not responding to his own mother, and y'all said y'all can't perform a welfare check? Where is Bakersville located at with this bullshit? I should have Google searched where the hell was Bakersville. But let me get back to the story. Y'all know I have to get on my tangents. Okay, so they showed up and said we can't go in there because of their Fourth Amendment right. Darrington said I begged and pleaded and was crying and was hyperventilating. See, now we got to go over what the Fourth Amendment right is. Because once again, I do believe Fourth Amendment is just unlawful search and seizure. Bitch, ain't nobody telling you to be on no Inspector Gadget and darn gonna be looking for no drugs and shit. It's darn on somebody needs dire medical attention. So I'm trying to see where the violation of the... Okay, let me go on into the Fourth Amendment. What is the Fourth Amendment?
Constitution, through the Fourth Amendment, protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government.
Okay, unreasonable search and seizures. But if they're saying that they are seeing him unresponsive on the floor, isn't that every bit of a rightful way to enter the house to give him medical aid? Ain't nobody telling you to look around and be on no investigation. So I'm trying to figure out, how does the Fourth Amendment prevent you from darn going being able to let the mother into the dang on house? Officers were unable to enter the apartment because there was no obvious emergency happening, such as a fire or injury, according to Sergeant Nathan McCullough. Additionally, the apartment wasn't Rouse's, and the BPD was unable to get permission to enter from the various people on the lead. Oh, okay, so that's where it gets convoluted. Okay. See, I was thinking it was his darn place. Okay, I guess that does add a little bit more to the Fourth Amendment, because at first I was about like, they got to explain that shit to me, honey. Okay, but now saying that it wasn't his place and they couldn't they couldn't necessarily get permission from the actual people on the lease. Okay, because teenagers, honey, they might have a little bit of Mary Jane, or nowadays they dip them dabbing in the booger sugar. I thought that was old people's darn on choice of darn on candy. Well, honey, these young folks now are darn on dibbling and dabbing in the booger sugar too. And then on top of these darn on Xannies and pills and stuff. So I can understand, but still, I'm 50-50 on that. But at one point, Darrington said an officer suggested Rouse was possibly loaded on some sort of drug and needed time to sober. Okay, see, that's how they do stereotype. But once again, I ain't even going to go there, because hell, I just got finished saying that's how some teenagers might have been. So okay, I'm going to give you the benefit. But it's like, once again, unresponsive, even if he was on drugs or alcohol, he's not responding. That's enough to perform a general welfare check nonetheless. At least that's what I would think. McCullough said he doesn't recall that detail from the incident body camera footage that he reviewed a few weeks ago. There's an hour-long interaction at the apartment on the body cam footage. McCullough said if she feels that conduct was inappropriate or the officers were discourteous, she could file a complaint. Shortly after officers left, Darrington said she was able to track down a maintenance worker who gave them entry inside. Rouse was found with marks on his neck, his face swollen, and bruises on his knuckles. Another detail that makes Darrington suspicious of the nature... Oh, wait a minute. So the officers never made it in the damn house? Hold on. Let me rewind this shit. At one point, Darrington said officers suggested Rouse was possibly loading on some sort of drug and needed the time to sober up. So it's like, meanwhile, they looking... Okay, from what I'm gathering, officers are on the scene. They're looking at him through the darn window. He's not responding. Officers eventually leave, because now I'm seeing shortly after Darrington, she was able to track down the maintenance worker who gave them entry. Okay, maybe the officers were still on the scene when the maintenance worker was here. Let's read on. Another detail that makes Darrington suspicious of the nature of the assault was that Rouse's breast was exposed. She explained something that would be a humiliating thing for a transgender male. Okay, I need them to go into more details about, or did the officers leave and come back? Because it's like, you're seeing somebody on the floor unresponsive, the mother's there, we can't darn gonna do a medical welfare check. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. My lawyers, y'all chime off in the comment section. My doctors too. Darrington said a doctor told her he initially thought it might have been some form of self-harm. However, after further examination, they realized there was no way possible for Rouse to inflict the injuries on himself. Some of the injuries include 2 collapsed lungs and air inside of his stomach. Through the nonverbal communication, Rouse has expressed he doesn't remember what happened. This is something that provided Darrington's both silence and anguish. You really don't want your child to remember being attacked, but at the same time, you really want the person who did this to pay, she said tearfully. Bakerville's police have been investigating the incident since May, and efforts is assisting with the investigation have been limited. McCullough said there is no suspect information available at this point. While Darrington couldn't definitely say whether it was a hate crime or not, McCullough said the investigation was ongoing and wouldn't say if it was being investigated as a hate crime. Rouse was the target of transphobic and racial bullying throughout his time at Bakersville and Highland High School, but nothing close to this extent, Darrington said. Since the attack, Darrington said she received an outpouring of support from Rouse's friends and former classmates. A GoFundMe account was launched to raise money for Rouse's medical expenses, thanks to help from some Hollywood LGBTQ activists, according to Darian. The GoFundMe has gained promise and raised more than $50,000 in donations. Rouse is scheduled to have surgery this week to remove scar tissue that developed in his throat from being on a ventilator. Darrington said he's been weaned off the ventilator, has started physical therapy, and will need speech therapy. Kristian's not a bad kid. This is a terrible time for us, Darrington said. The GoFundMe for Rouse's medical expenses can be found at this link, and I will put that down below. So what are y'all thoughts on this situation? I mean, I'm clearly thinking it might have been a hate crime. A hate crime. I can't even say a crime of darn on passion, because the way they said that his injuries was, and it can't be from what I'm gathering, I don't think that he was a gay trans man. I think he was a heterosexual trans man, because they mentioned about the ex-girlfriend. But from what I'm gathering, I don't think he's a bisexual nor gay trans man. He's a heterosexual trans man, so I guess we can rule out a crime of passion. Unless he was dating darn on a female athlete or some shit, but for the most part, we can rule out a crime of passion. If he was found in his house, that leads me to think that the attackers knew him personally. Cause I don't think that, if you're talking about a collapsed lung and air in the stomach, he wouldn't have been able to make it all the way back to his house if he was attacked at another location. And I don't think they saw any blood or anything outside of the house. So the attack would have had to occur in the house. So based off of that, it more likely was somebody that he knew, and maybe he's holding off on telling that for whatever reason, because of the sake of the friendship. Well, I wouldn't think it would be a friendship at this point. But just due to the closeness of the people and whatever. Once again, I'm not no detective. This is just my thoughts on this. But we want to wish our darn own fellow trans brother a good recovery. Once again, I'm a trans woman, y'all, not trans brother. But my fellow trans person, a full recovery. I had to make that disclaimer, y'all, because y'all know a bitch still got some facial hair, and I'm flatter than motherfucker Lupita Nyong'o. So, I ain't want nobody thinking, oh, well, damn, your darn on surgery look good, honey. I can't darn on even. Don't y'all read me in the comment section, y'all. Don't y'all do it. Don't y'all do it. Okay, but back on a serious subject, y'all. Y'all know I got to darn on break the ice, because this is a very, tense situation. But, yeah, we definitely going to wish our darn on a fellow trans person a full recovery. This is the GoFundMe link right here, which it will send you to this. I've done already made my donation. I encourage y'all to do the same as well. It's now up to $60,796. You can send as low as $5, I believe. I think it'll let you send $5 for y'all that's, you know, income challenge or whatever. But every dollar counts. So, and once again, yeah, it has surpassed the goal of 25,000. But with all that, it's saying that he needs speech therapy, you know, a possible lung transplant, because I think they said both his lungs were damaged, air in the stomach, and then, you know, having to you know, walk and all of that, and then, you know, ongoing months of therapy, because I would imagine that we would need to see a psychiatrist after this. So yeah, with all of that's required, we need to get this up to at least 100,000, in my humble opinion. Like I said, I made my donation, and shared to my social media. I encourage y'all to do the same thing. Let's, you know, have our young brother lifted up in a prayer, you know, to whoever you pray to. Y'all know I'm not a Christian, but if y'all Christian, y'all can pray to God, or Muslim, y'all can pray to Allah. If you atheist, just send well wishes. Luciferians, send the good energy, not the bad ones. Pagans, y'all go ahead and pray up to the mother goddess. To whoever you pray to. Polytheists, pray up to your multiple gods and goddesses. But let's all send good vibes and energy to Kristian Rouse way, on a swift recovery. That they don't have to deal with no medical bills afterwards. And hopefully, you know, through a psychiatrist, and one that probably specializes in hypnosis, we can have him remember his attackers, because I would imagine that it was probably more than one attacker, due to the extent of the injuries, unless it was somebody substantially stronger than him. So yeah, I'm inclined to believe that it was probably more than one attacker as well. So yeah, get a good hypnotist to also see if we can go into the subconscious brain and, you know, work him up to have the courage to remember what is no longer on the conscious level of the brain. Once again, I'm not a psychiatrist, but that's what I gather that they do, you know, with hypnotism, with psychiatry, to help, you know, the victims remember their attackers, but only at their time, so it doesn't, you know, trigger them to go into a depressive state. So that is it, y'all. Y'all feel free to leave y'all thoughts down below, comment, and subscribe. Once again, especially to my medical people down there, to my lawyers, please get me together if I mispronounced anything, and to my Hispanic folks, please, you know, tell me the correct pronunciation of this, if it's indeed of Hispanic origin. Like I said, she might just be a red bone sister, but, you know, she looked like she might have had a little bit of Hispanic going on. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Here's the picture once again. Like I said, I could be wrong. But yeah, leave y'all thoughts down below, and I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.